Previously on
Danganronpa.
That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
I like to be a little bit silly around here, guys.
People are dying.
And I returned from the bathroom. Bubby.
Welcome back.
A good bubby. You did a good bubby. Oh my god, a bit up.
Wee.
Give me my 85 coins. Celeste, keep them away. No, stay away. Bro, what are you saying?
I've got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that. Wait. Hold on. No waiting. No holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank. Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice, or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? I'm still gonna vote for Byakuya. Yeah, shit.
I'll make jokes now.
I don't think that's a joke by Taka. I think he still would. This time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was Mondo Owara. In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Chiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way. No way he could kill someone.
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it? Well, it looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf. Oh, thank you, Monokuma. Man, I was so afraid we weren't going to get a motive, or like, oof. The story of the murder this time, the sad story of two men.
Nope. It's the story of a boy and a girl. That's what it is. It's going to relate to Fujisaki. Just gonna put that right there, because I'm Mondo Owara, feminist.
Oh.
All right, back to vow of silence.
But for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit the control key to fast forward the text. It's such a fucking funny thing to say 20 hours into a game. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now, nobody will be able to say anything about, even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him, and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak, 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 weak. Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. Which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy. And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair. 19. And yet... sorry, I don't really want to talk about it right now. But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, and I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the thread of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger. Now's my chance. I'm gonna get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought in the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it. When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask someone's help. And he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
It was me.
Yep, it sure was! The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. Okay, that's wrong. That's a... I'm talking in the third person now. So, he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support could he ever be able to come close to that. So, then that must be why Mondo did what he did. To keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro.
Huh? Did what he did? You mean that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker into the girls' locker room?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Wasn't it to cover up what he'd done?
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between them that he made to Chihiro.
Could just say the promise of a man, because that's just Mondo's man promise.
That makes sense,
Yeah. But how does moving the body keep his secret?
Because if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone had been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect her identity. So he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting her in the girls' locker room and stealing her handbook. See?
Then Mondo did all that to keep the promises he made to Chihiro? Who he'd also kill?
Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you?
Because no matter what, didn't want anyone to know.
So, that's what triggered it after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed. That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone? It's impossible. How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know? You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother was named Dai Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Dai that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle.
Daya.
Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, number one in the gang, and his number two, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul.
Kid's gonna take over for Daya? Huh. Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad.
Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang. Which is why...
We gotta get stronger. Stronger than Daya. One time. No matter what, I gotta win. I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top.
And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly... Laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words.
My bad, kid. Fucked up. Sorry.
Of course, he knew it was his big brother's fault, but Diane never blamed him for what happened.
Hey, kid. The rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. 'Cause it's the team you and me put together. It's a promise. A man's promise.
He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang, in order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother. He could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident, and as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was gonna lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother.
I'm strong. Strong.
And yet, as soon as our killing games began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own older brother.
No matter what, couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I've been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why I, Mondo, after I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I'd never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with her. And right there, she told me a secret. Seriously? Jeez.
Yeah, I'm sorry I lied to you.
Why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden? Because, I mean, you've kept the secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
You're right, but I want to change. I wrapped myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever.
Her words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like she was exposing the lie I'd been living myself.
I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong, it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
So what? You're saying I should just say it? You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret?
Uh-huh.
I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. She had the strength to face her own weaknesses, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I never had. So I was jealous of her. And that jealousy broke me. Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you fucking with me right now?
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo.
I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed, and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Why did you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
No, I just really admire you. I admire your strength.
That's right. I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong. Stronger than you. It's stronger than Daya. Don't remember anything after that. Also, good job on acting. Clap, 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 clap,
Oh,
clap, clap,
thank
clap.
you. After Mondo dies, then I'll want to do talking.
Yeah. But I feel like claps are in order here. Anyways, when I woke up again, he was laying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him down on the ground.
Hey,
Oh, I killed him. I killed her. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back. Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it!
look at him. You see, you're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory. For that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see any hope anywhere in there? 'Cause I sure don't. What is that? 52. You bastard. Just shut up, you son of a bitch! Go ahead! Say that again! I dare you! Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want, is what I want to say. But unfortunately I can't do that right now, because the time for punishing is fast approaching.
Punishing?
You mean execution? That's what I promised you, right? The blackened that disturbs the peace will be punished. Oh, hold on. Now then, I prepared a very special punishment for Mondo Owada, the ultimate biker gang leader. No, wait! Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time! I said wait!
Sorry. I couldn't keep the man's promise. I'm sorry.
Who gave this bear a license?
Who knows?
His feet can't even reach the pedals.
They can't. The Cage of Death. No. Now this bear's hula hooping. Mondo butter. Good for your pancakes.
Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be. My brother.
Another murder. Another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But of course he had to.
What a disappointment. This is the end of the game?
Asshole. You're completely insane, you know that? A game? One of our friends is dead. Do you realize that?
Of course I do. Because this game is life or death. I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response. Except that I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting.
His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone.
Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual. So, you ignored the nighttime rule too? That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it. Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse.
What? You mean you actually witnessed the murder?
He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
So you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
Indeed. But if that had been the end of it, how boring would have that been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up.
You did all that to liven things up?
So, after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that. To create the fake murder scene?
But damn, man. If we hadn't figured out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right?
Well, obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course.
Bianca turned and looked at me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me.
Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did, and I was able to perform an interesting experiment. Once I decide to become blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for.
What?
So, that was your reason. Are you satisfied? Yes. We're listening to your story. Moving on. There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma. She's so cool. Oh, I'm up next. You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? Huh? Do you like them? But you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. 20. All this punishment, all this despair, is my gift to mankind itself. 21. You're over-exaggerating. I am not over-exaggerating. These punishments are all meant to transform all hope to despair. 22 and 53. What do you mean? 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 Mean. Mean. Good grief. I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Because we're in a mystery game, dude. I want to figure out the mystery. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me. Ah, the noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me. I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship. Shut up. I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. I'm only cool on the level of high-level criminals. Like billionaires. After I've achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm gonna find you and kill you. Understand? In the name of the Togami family, for which victory is a foreign conclusion. Oh, so cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mod for you.
He is!
I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap.
Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom, and the curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue. Because the mastermind wouldn't end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying.
23.
It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in the hell had more of a future than us.
24.
All of our courage, our effort, our friendship felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair. 25.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a real good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone for things that even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear, despair, charge forward, and speed. The speed nothing can hope to match. 26. And 54. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I go to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play that part? You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now, so just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see. There's one thing I'd like to ask you. As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away! Who is it? The 16th high schooler, I mean. My. You really took me by surprise there. I know I said you can ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied, because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends?
Boy's life of despair.
The end.
The end. 12, 11, 10.
To be continued.
So,
Oh, we got a crazy
crazy diamond!
Oh my god. Okay. So it's once again the issue of giving the game credit it doesn't deserve. Because I believe the artist's intention was, what if there was a boy who was so weak that he then had to pretend he was a girl, but then he was like, I'm going to be strong enough so I can be a boy. I believe that was the artist's intention. But reading it as a trans woman and like the idea that she was luckily at a point where she was passing, but then she was that afraid of having to come out, and then seeing strength as a like that I can be strong enough. I can be strong enough even though people will know this about me, and I will be strong enough. And that is why I was able to cry and still enjoy it, because of what I'm writing into my head of like
Right.
this interpretation.
Yeah, no, I think interpreting it that way does make it good. Seeing it on paper is problematic, to say the least. Uh, and I think that is a general thing about Danganronpa, it seems so far. Writing some headcanons makes it actually better. And I don't think that's a strong point for a game series.
I don't know. It's the whole death of that, and when you see media as just the media you are playing, and you don't interact with it outside of that. Because if I was seeing this for the first time without any other context, knowing anything about this, like that is just how I would take this. This is just how I would take the situation. I would go with like this game was written 15 years ago, and the translators didn't they didn't have the best idea of how to write a trans character, so that is why the character would start using he pronouns after she died, just because that wasn't what the authors knew about. Very similar to when God, very similar to when Makoto was, how do I tell people about dissociative identity disorder? Why don't I use a slur in my mind? Like, it's very similar to that. I believe I like to imagine that in 2026 they'd be like, cool, we found a better word for Makoto to think of that could work in our MIDI game.
You'd think so. And I think there is like merit to what you're saying about like uh trying to like have it be transformative, but there are like I think having it be too transformative and not seeing for what it is a uh, is a disservice to both you and what this game is. It does do a good job, but it just does not understand. Like, it clearly does not understand, um, like the subject matter it is talking about,
Yeah.
and that is like it is painfully like this is a very awkward slope and a very like weird argument to like have and make, and you could be like, well, it's a cultural thing. Well, even then it's still weird to
I'm
like
not putting it on.
consume.
I'm not putting it on a Japanese versus America cultural
Yeah.
thing. I'm just putting it on. This was written 15 years ago, and they didn't know as much when it came to the writing the subject matter, and it was like because it, um oh gosh the company it's who what company
Spike
publishes
Chunsoft.
Spike Chunsoft is a big company that is then making stuff for the biggest demographics. It's being written by people who fall into the biggest demographics. If you are looking for a thing that is going to properly write the subjects, then you need to find things made by that denominator, and very frequently those aren't going to have as big budgets and be as noticeable, and that is the reason they found the most common denominator of people that then wrote this. um Now, maybe they could have found people with they could have found people who are systems, and they could have found trans people and then wrote better, but that's also a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that.
Mhm.
And that comes down to how much money are you willing to spend into research towards telling the story that you're trying to say, and yada yada yada.
Fair enough. The thing about like both getting the DID and the systems and the trans people, like interviews do exist, and you can like interview somebody for research. I think there are like non-cost effective ways for research. It's just I don't think they thought to research this topic. Uh,
Yeah.
I think it was still at the point in time of like I will just use what I know about this topic rather than research and actually give it its due diligence, and that's why it came out the way it did.
And of
I
course,
think, yeah,
what they know about that subject is American Psycho from 1960. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. Wow, that's interesting that American Psycho and Psycho are both called that. I wonder why. um,
I wonder what.
it's crazy. Uh, uh, I can't think of any other examples at the moment, but yeah, and that is their whoa. These things did this. What if we did it too?
Yeah, it's a like, oh yeah, let's use this as a frame of reference. Let's go with this, because I mean, like you could a less example that's like of a less serious topic. It's just like going to cooking like shows like fucking Food Wars, right?
Hmm.
uh, there are a lot of stuff in Food Wars that they do that like a chef would be like, that's ridiculous. We would never do that shit because it's not necessarily what they want to focus on in their story. They just want to be like, well, we made this dish and oh yeah, it does fucking make people's clothes go off. That's just what good food does. Because they were more concerned about other parts of the writing, which is a disservice to like some people who want I want a real look at this like topic and real like very very serious delve into what this is, but the people behind it just did not care enough to want to not I don't want to say to want to treat this seriously because that's not what that is. It's more of like they didn't want to focus on that part. But if they did, they could have done something very interesting with tackling certain situations, like especially with Chihiro, if they cared a little bit more, they could be like, okay, let's figure out a way to make this written well.
Yeah. Um, Another example, like the tiny scale, I was talking to a vegan friend, and they are playing some mobile game, and the city builder, and got to build the vegan cafe, and they were making fun of the menu for the vegan cafe. And it's like, well, yeah, because this mobile game has X number of food items, and they're not going to go out of their way to make new food items for this one uh store in the vegan cafe, because where are they deciding to put their choice of resources, which once again goes to a much smaller one on not a 100 hour, by the time we're done with this, visual novel, which does spend the time that it could have on
Mhm.
this. um
Yeah.
because something it did want to talk about that I can't relate to in the slightest is the masculinity of, like, oh, my brother sacrificed himself,
Oh,
so I need to, like, God, wait. So did Demondo,
yeah.
gosh, is the story that he told the biker gang, did he just kill his brother, or like that he did it on purpose?
So what he told his brother, his biker gang,
What did he tell the
is
biker
that
gang?
yeah, what he told the biker gang is that uh, his brother was the one to get into the accident. He wasn't looking to where he was going. He was uh, he was at fault.
Okay, okay.
His brother was at fault, not him, not him.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't admit that. Yeah,
Um,
Mondo just hid away the fact that he was a yeah, he was the reason uh for his brother's death.
yeah, so that is what he was hiding away. Which, you know what, dude? He you this is a lot of toxic masculinity, self-doubt, like, cuz it wasn't, I mean,
Yeah, and I
like,
think that's kind of the point. It
yeah.
it is like it is legitimately he is in this toxic masculinity, especially because like everybody has been comparing himself to his brother, who they're like, his brother's the shit, he's amazing, and you're just kind of like the dude who's also there, and it's just like, man, I'm number two, I am Luigi,
Yeah.
I will always forever be Luigi, but I gotta be Mario. I gotta be player one. And that's his mindset of like, I gotta be strong. But his like idea and concept of being what's strong is just the toxic like masculinity that oozes from where he's around this toxic biker gang
Yeah.
that doesn't like care. And since that's just like that is just a thing that men uh do of like, hey, let's not talk about our feelings and let's just dogpile on you and throw shit at you.
Yeah, so that did
And yeah,
also make the, like, where I was like, damn, Chihiro, like, you got being the writing being like, yeah, Chihiro was strong and awesome for willing to, like, yeah, I'm gonna have to admit this. And for this person to have, like, not as bad a thing to admit that, like, I got my brother killed, my brother sacrificed himself for me, like, that's that's really cool
whoa.
for to the Chihiro side.
Are you saying that like that he got his brother to sacrifice for himself for me is not as bad of a secret as Chihiro's?
For to be able to admit it,
Okay, okay.
because
I'm just trying to clarify.
that's the thing that Mondo's secret was having to admit that his brother sacrificed himself for him. And
Well,
I mean, not
also, yeah, we say sacrifice. We know it's sacrifice. He hasn't even come to terms with that. He is fully convinced that he killed his brother. He is responsible. He is the guy. Like, I fucking killed my brother. I am at fault. I can't forgive myself because I am a horrible person. He
yeah,
hasn't even come to like accepting who he is, which is on the opposite side of Chihiro.
yeah, and that's pretty cool to me. The Chihiro is written in the context of the game of look how strong she is, being able to come to terms with who she is. Where Mondo is shit, man. I gotta just commit a murder so I don't have to deal with these feelings.
Yeah. Uh, generally I like both of them as characters. Uh, Chihiro's a little bit weird.
Man, I
And
sure wish.
Mondo, yeah,
Man, I sure wish Chihiro did anything before this chapter, and then during this chapter, it had more than like 30 lines towards the end as we talked about her death.
yeah.
Because man, it was fun acting and getting to cry for her. That was that was a man. I had a hella good time doing that. In the sense that like I was genuinely crying and like man, I was upset because I'm feeling a lot of emotions now. But like Derp, did you know the reason I enjoy acting with you is so that we can experience the emotions that come with acting?
Did you know I was also crying as Mondo?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I also like I don't fully relate to Mondo, but like I do like get the kind of like pride and also wanting to being in somebody's shadow and then like taking blame onto yourself and doing stuff like that. I feel very strongly with that. And it's just I think there it is if it wasn't like written as the tale of two boys, which I don't it's not that, it's a boy and a girl. Uh it if it wasn't written like that, I think it would be a lot more palpable to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't get past the like, oh, this is kind of oh.
Yeah. Once again, I just seeing Monokuma as transphobic and like being that thing that Chihiro would be afraid of is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is that is fair because I think Monokuma is like any villainous trait you could probably associate to Monokuma
Yeah.
if it like made sense for whoever he was directing his animosity towards.
Yeah. It'll like it a little Last of Us 2, man, that's a hell of a game to talk about problematic things. But one of the things that I don't think is problematic is I remember seeing trans people be like, oh, don't play it because there's transophobia in the game. And I was like, oh, I think that if you are looking for a cool trans story, The Last of Us 2 can give you that. Because the bad evil guys are dead naming Lev, and then you proceed to kill them all. Like these are shown as these are awful. So seeing transophobia from Monokuma, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. If it is not a thing that you want to experience in your game because it's very difficult for you to play, that's understandable. But I think it's okay. It's okay to have the villain do bad things.
Yeah, I think also there are some games that like will have bad written trans characters or like attempt to do something like this, but just fall flat on their writing, and then immediately uh, allies of the LGBT will be like, ah, oh no, this is a bad thing because it is written badly, and I'm not going to actually ingest the media because of that. And I think you're doing a disservice to not like at least ingest some media, not ever all of like the bad media, but like I think ingesting some media that has like weird ways of writing gay people, weird ways of writing trans people, bisexual people, and the like, uh, does a good like way to understand how some people actually do view how that the LGBTQ function,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't view this way. I disagree with this. But now that I've seen like something actual evident of somebody having this opinion, I know that there are people like that.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up.
I fucked up. And then something I didn't expect at all was that I would get enough into my performance as Taka to cry about him losing his friend. And I was like, wow, good job, me. That was pretty cool. I didn't expect that from
Yeah,
I was pretty happy to see a character who had formed this friendship and then was this distraught over it. That's
yeah.
really cool. It's gonna be weird for the I think I don't know for the fan fiction that we're writing. I'm just like shit. I don't know how we rewrite this.
I,
Fuck.
I,
I don't know.
I look, but in in the back of my mind, it's like, does like Kiyotaka kind of break up with Makoto here? Are they on a break now? Like,
Fuck yeah.
it's kind of weird. Like, even if Mondo and Kiyotaka weren't dating or boyfriends, you did just kind of take out his best friend. So like, they're
Shit.
at least gonna be on a break or
I,
something like
I
that.
think that's what we have to say for our fan fiction.
Yeah, which
For the thing
sucks.
we just completely made.
Yeah, I mean, you started it with the hand gesture, and I was just like, you know what, roll with it.
The puppy girl, the puppy girl Makoto universe that we've created.
Yes, which I do like that we've also established so far. All of the puppy girl like moments have been to like people, but they haven't been to like people in a sexual way. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah,
this is how Makoto makes friends.
yeah, it's Makoto's willingness to just follow a person around and be told, "Oh, good job."
But yeah, to be fair, when I'm like critiquing this, I am putting that aside because like it's not what the story's actually about, even though we wish it would be. Uh, so whenever I like come to you with a complaint, it's because this is a genuine complaint I have about Danganronpa in and of itself,
Mhm.
and not the like headcanon we've established that is significantly better. And I think that's the problem with Danganronpa in of itself. It is a it is a breeding ground for fanfic because premises are almost good. But what if you had a better writer? And what if that better writer was you?
Me?
And yeah, you.
Hell yeah.
What if you had a better story to tell?
Oh my
And
god.
that's like the problem with Danganronpa sometimes. Like, if you were just a little better, this would be a fun game.
Holy shit. No, it is a fun game for me. It's this is a extremely good time for me.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, you also like kind of like ducked and weaved from some of the obvious hints, so you just were able to enjoy the media for what it is.
Hello, this is Tony, and thank you very much for watching. In the description, you can find links to my Ko-fi, and also links to information if you'd be interested in commissioning me, whether that be for voice work, PNG tubers, GIFs, or whatever else you might be interested using my talents for. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.